every few years, gaming gets a reset. 2026 looks like one of those years. Bold new IPs, risky sequels, and releases big enough to dominate the decade. Here are 14 games you need on your radar for 2026. Reanimal marks Tarsier Studios' return to pure nightmare horror, and it's far more disturbing than anything they've done before. You play as a child trapped inside a corrupted wildlife preserve. The animals aren't alive, they're stitched, reanimated, and deeply wrong. Familiar childhood imagery is twisted into something predatory, and you're constantly being hunted. The visual style leans into stop-motion horror. Movements feel unnatural, textures look handmade but decayed, and shadows hide things that shift when you're not looking. It's unsettling in a slow, crawling way. Gameplay focuses on stealth and environmental puzzles. Each creature behaves differently, forcing observation over trial and error, and a roaming antagonist ensures nowhere ever feels safe. Co-op adds a new layer of tension. Two children with different abilities must work together, often separated, often vulnerable. Coordination matters, panic kills. This isn't shock horror. It explores fear, loss, and childhood trauma through surreal design. Reanimal launches spring 2026 on PS5. If you want horror that lingers, don't ignore this. From corrupted innocence to something even darker.
Tides of Annihilation came out of nowhere, and that first reveal hit hard. One trailer was enough to put it on the radar. This is ocean-bound apocalypse survival. Humanity now lives on massive, moving fortress cities after Earth's continents were swallowed by the sea, and something beneath the water is actively hunting what's left. The world design is striking. Sunken skyscrapers, bioluminescent horrors below the surface, and massive waves that reshape encounters in real time. It feels hostile, beautiful, and constantly threatening. Gameplay blends naval combat with survival management. You scavenge drowned cities, manage resources, expand your mobile base, and fight Leviathan-scale enemies. Think Frostpunk structure with Subnautica vibes and boss fights on a Monster Hunter scale. The real hook? Permadeath for your fortress city. Lose it and the run is over. Every decision carries real weight. Tides of Annihilation launches late 2026 on PS5, a bold new IP that could surprise a lot of people. From oceanic collapse to cosmic mystery.
Saros leans hard into mystery, and that's its biggest strength. The game shows just enough to make you uneasy, then goes quiet. You're exploring an abandoned space station orbiting a dying star. The crew disappeared after uncovering something they shouldn't have. Time itself is unstable here. Rooms exist in multiple states, overlapping past and present. Gameplay focuses on first-person exploration and time-based puzzles. You'll solve problems by interacting with objects across different moments, leaving clues for yourself and manipulating cause and effect. It's thoughtful, not action-driven. Visually, it's striking without being loud. Harsh sci-fi architecture, warped lighting, and subtle distortions sell the concept beautifully. Even the sound design messes with you. Audio bleeds across timelines, creating constant unease. Saros launches Q2 2026 on PS5. If you like sci-fi that trusts your intelligence, keep this one on your radar. From cosmic mystery to darker things ahead. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly Remake brings classic Japanese horror back the way it should be. Slow, suffocating, and deeply unsettling. You follow twin sisters Nioh and Mayu into a cursed mountain village frozen in time. A failed ritual wiped everyone out, leaving restless spirits behind. Your only defense is the camera obscura, fighting ghosts by photographing them up close. Combat is pure tension. The strongest shots require standing your ground while spirits rush you. Hesitate, and you pay for it. The atmosphere does the heavy lifting.
decaying Japanese architecture, ritual imagery, distant whispers, and that constant feeling you're not alone. This is horror built on presence, not jump scares. The emotional core hits hard. Mayu slowly succumbs to the village's pull, forcing Mio into impossible choices tied to guilt and sacrifice. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly Remake launches mid-2026 on PS5. For J-horror fans, skipping this would be a mistake. From haunted villages to sharpened blades.
Pragmata is Capcom's longest-running question mark, and that silence feels deliberate. They want you curious. The reveal showed a lone astronaut and a young girl on a ruined Earth. Floating debris, zero-gravity movement, a holographic cat, and no explanation. Pure visual storytelling designed to unsettle. At its core, this is sci-fi action-adventure with heavy puzzle focus. Gravity manipulation appears central, navigating environments, solving problems, and possibly fighting in weightless space. If that system lands, it'll feel genuinely fresh. The art direction is haunting. Near-future tech mixed with surreal destruction, fractured celestial bodies, and sterile isolation. Whatever happened here, it wasn't quiet. Capcom's RE engine Evolution powers this. Expect top-tier visuals and atmosphere built for next-gen immersion. Pragmata launches 2026 on PS5. If you love sci-fi wrapped in mystery, this one's impossible to ignore. From unanswered questions to ancient blades.
Marvel's Wolverine and Insomniac is going darker than ever. This isn't another superhero power fantasy. This is M-rated Logan, brutal claw combat, berserker rage, and raw violence finally front and center. No holding back. Combat is built for close quarters aggression, fast, fluid Insomniac design reworked for savage melee, healing factor, risk-reward, and environmental takedowns that feel feral. The story dives into Weapon X trauma, not an origin, the damage it left behind, memory loss, rage, and the constant fight between man and monster. Settings reportedly span frozen Canadian wilderness and Madripoor's criminal underworld. Hunting, stealth, and urban chaos create sharp tonal contrast. Visually, this is next-gen Insomniac tech. Detailed animations, dynamic weather, and brutal presentation throughout. Marvel's Wolverine launches late 2026 on PS5. If you want a mature, violent superhero game, this is the one. From claws to chaos.
Grand Theft Auto 6. And yeah, this one doesn't need hype, it creates it. Rockstar's first new GTA in over a decade. Dual protagonists, Lucia and Jason, tearing through Vice City and a Florida-inspired open world, packed with cities, swamps, highways, and chaos. The ambition is ridiculous. Smarter NPCs, evolving world systems, deeper economies, and an open world that reacts to what you do, not just scripted chaos. Rockstar always resets expectations, and this looks like another reset. Story-wise, expect sharp satire, social media obsession, American excess, and modern crime culture filtered through Rockstar's cynical lens. Funny, uncomfortable, and painfully accurate. Gameplay rumors point to deeper heists, more player choice, and systems refined from Red Dead Redemption 2's weighty realism. When plans fall apart, the chaos is the experience. And whatever GTA Online becomes next, that'll dominate streams and timelines for years. Grand Theft Auto 6 launches in 2026 on PS5. Not just a release, a full-on cultural takeover. From crime empires to unanswered questions.
Onimusha, Way of the Sword, and Capcom is resurrecting a franchise people thought was gone for good. Nearly 2 decades later, this comeback has real weight. Feudal Japan is under demonic siege. You play a new samurai wielding the Oni gauntlet, absorbing demon souls to fuel supernatural power. The Genma threat returns, corrupting the land from within. Combat is all about precision. Perfect parries, critical counters, and the iconic Issen system are back, now powered by the RE engine's fluid animation and impact. Think fast, lethal swordplay with modern responsiveness. The Oni Gauntlet introduces deeper customization. Soul absorption feeds combos, elemental abilities, and devastating finishers that reward aggressive mastery. Visually, this looks stunning. Realistic Japanese architecture mixed with grotesque demon designs pulled from classic folklore. Onimusha Way of the Sword arrives mid-2026 on PS5. If Capcom lands this, Onimusha is officially back. From ancient blades to massive worlds.
Nioh 3 and Team Ninja is going all in for the trilogy finale. This is their biggest swing yet. The scope expands beyond Japan. Mainland Asia becomes the battlefield, pulling yokai and folklore from China, Korea, and Southeast Asia. New regions mean unfamiliar enemies and fresh mythological nightmares. Combat stays razor sharp. Stance switching, key pulse mastery, and high-speed precision still define every fight. New systems like yokai possession and weapon fusion push aggression even further. Build depth explodes. Dual guardian spirits, expanded soul cores, and flexible elemental swapping create endless theory crafting. No two builds will feel the same. Boss fights evolve too. Multi-phase encounters react to your playstyle, demanding adaptation instead of memorization. Difficulty remains unforgiving. Mastery is mandatory. Nioh 3 lands Q3 2026 on PS5. For fans of precision combat and deep systems, this is the definitive Team Ninja finale. From disciplined blades to raw fury.
Crimson Desert is Pearl Abyss proving they can go far beyond MMOs. This is their full push into premium single-player RPG territory. The world of Pywell is huge and unforgiving. Civil war, survival systems, shifting politics, and you're Macduff, leading a mercenary band just trying to stay alive. Every decision carries weight. Exploration is seamless. No loading screens, dynamic weather, and ecosystems that react to you. Hunt for food, draw predators, deal with consequences, nothing feels static. Combat constantly switches gears. Tight, skill-based duels one moment, large-scale battlefield command the next. Personal skill and tactical leadership matter equally. The Greymane system sets it apart. Your squad has personalities, loyalty, and permanent death. You don't just manage units, you get attached. Visually, it's absurdly good. Pearl Abyss's engine delivers realism on the level of Red Dead Redemption 2, but in a high fantasy world. Crimson Desert arrives late 2026 on PS5. If you want scale, systems, and ambition in one package, this could be a defining RPG. From calculated warfare to pure skill.
Phantom Blade Zero is the kind of reveal that makes people stop scrolling. S-Game came out of nowhere and suddenly everyone's paying attention. This is wuxia dark fantasy built for speed. Think precision parries, aggressive flow, and combat that never lets you breathe. You play Soul, betrayed, resurrected, and hunting the people who left you for dead. Defense turns into offense. Perfect deflects explode into cinematic counters, rewarding constant pressure instead of passive play. Mastery looks insane, and mistakes are punished instantly. Weapons transform mid-combo, stances shift on the fly, chi powers add supernatural flair, and builds actually change how you fight, speed, technique, or raw power. Visually, it stands out. Ink wash-inspired environments, brutal creature designs, and authentic martial arts choreography give it a distinct identity. The bosses are built to test skill. Multi-phase fights, pattern mastery, and stylish finishers make every victory feel earned. Phantom Blade Zero lands mid-2026 on PS5. If you care about combat depth and style, this could be 2026's biggest breakout. from blades in motion to bullets in the shadows.
Resident Evil Requiem, and Capcom is aiming for a full-on survival horror comeback. After the momentum of RE7, Village, and RE4 Remake, expectations couldn't be higher. Reports suggest dual campaigns featuring Leon and Jill, showing the same bioterror crisis from different angles. Their stories reportedly overlap, slowly revealing a larger conspiracy tied to past events and long-running story threads. The horror focus is back. Limited ammo, disturbing enemy designs, and oppressive environments built around tension rather than action. Think RE7's fear, Village's atmosphere, and RE4 Remake's modern combat refinement combined. Powered by an evolved RE engine, this is shaping up to be Capcom's most technically ambitious horror title yet. Brutal lighting, dense environments, and immersive DualSense feedback pushing tension constantly. Resident Evil Requiem launches late 2026 for PS5. For survival horror fans, this isn't just another entry, it's an event.
Tomb Raider: Legacy of Atlantis brings Lara Croft back to her roots. Not a survivor learning the ropes, a seasoned archaeologist chasing danger on her own terms. This entry shifts focus back to tomb-first design. Large, interconnected ruins packed with environmental puzzles, ancient mechanisms, and Atlantean tech that demands observation and experimentation. Progress comes from thinking, not waypoint chasing. Combat exists, but it's not the point. Exploration, traversal, and discovery take priority, with enemies acting as obstacles, not the core loop. It finally feels like classic Tomb Raider philosophy modernized. Instead of one giant open world, the game uses curated global locations, dense levels, strong atmosphere, and environmental storytelling without filler. Tomb Raider: Legacy of Atlantis launches late 2026 for PS5. If you missed puzzle-driven Lara, this is the return you wanted. 007 First Light is shaping up to be the Bond game fans have waited decades for, and IO Interactive is the exact studio you want handling it. This is a younger Bond, before the 00 title, before the confidence, before everything went right. You're stepping into his earliest missions, learning the job, making mistakes, and earning that license the hard way. Grounded, gritty, and closer to modern Craig-era espionage than classic camp. The Hitman influence is obvious, in the best way. Missions are built as sandboxes, where stealth, disguise, manipulation, or violence are all valid. You plan, adapt, and improvise instead of following scripted set pieces. Gadgets are classic Bond, but system-driven. Tools from Q-Branch aren't one-off moments, they're flexible mechanics you use creatively. It's immersive sim design wrapped in a spy fantasy. Locations span the globe. Casinos, underground transit networks, fortified compounds, each space designed for experimentation and replayability rather than spectacle alone. Tonally, this leans dark. Bond is fallible here. He gets hurt, he makes bad calls. Watching him grow into the legend is part of the appeal. 007 First Light arrives late 2026 on PS5. If IO sticks the landing, this could redefine what a modern spy game looks like.
And that's the list. 14 games ready to shake the industry in 2026. New IPs, massive sequels, and long-awaited revivals all colliding in one year. Which one are you most excited for? Drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you next time.